Good evening. Even for a part of the world tragically familiar with floods, the warnings about what is already happening and what could yet happen in Eastern Africa have been apocalyptic. Aid agencies struggling to cope with the aftermath of last week's cyclone in Mozambique are also struggling to find the words to describe its impact. The United Nations says it could be one of the worst weather-related disasters in the Southern Hemisphere. The World Food Programme called it a humanitarian emergency getting bigger by the hour. Well, the cyclone hit Mozambique's port city of Beira on Thursday, destroying 90% of it in all. But it took until Sunday for aid teams to arrive. 1,000 people are thought to have died in all. More than 1.5 million have been affected.
Their crops flooded, their homes lost. The sight of this helicopter and its crew must have seemed close to a miracle. Divers swim towards two people who seem to have survived by clinging to the branches of a tree. When Cyclone Idai tore into Mozambique's coastline, propelled by winds of more than 100 miles an hour, the flimsy buildings in the port city of Beira didn't stand a chance. In its wake, the wreckage of lives and homes left floating in the water. The floods are now receding, and the extent of this tragedy is starting to emerge. The president says he fears as many as 1,000 people may have lost their lives. The wreckage has blocked roads, making it difficult to get aid to the people who need it most. In villages cut off for the last 4 days, the weakest are most vulnerable. Entire communities forced to take shelter in the one building that still has a roof.
Aqui mesmo também nós nem para comer é problema, nem comida, nem o quê, nada. À noite nós não comemos.
At Beira's airport, the cyclone has left aircraft lying in pieces, like broken toys. 90% of all buildings have been damaged. The death toll is expected to climb steeply.
If these reports, these fears are realised, then we can say that it is one of the worst weather-related disasters, tropical cyclone-related disasters in the Southern Hemisphere.
There is nothing left at all.
Across the border in Zimbabwe, torrential downpours have caused landslides.
All these people who were living in these houses are dead.
Rivers swollen by muddy water and debris have swept away roads and bridges. This man has walked 17 miles to raise the alarm.
There is no bridge, all bridges were swept away.
International aid is starting to arrive, but with 3 countries and more than 1 million people thought to be caught up in the disaster, far more is needed, and needed urgently. Juliet Bremner, News at 10.